Okay, today you're going to get audio from me. And because I just wanted to do something quick for you with the solstice coming up, there's some information coming in and just experiences and things I know with respect to what other people are experiencing, and then we're going to channel some information for you too. This is big times, as you know. Honestly, I think more so than seriously in modern times. There's a lot of energy in this conversation today. So anyway, we're going to have a little overview of what's been going on energetically, what you can expect, what you can do for yourself, what you can do for others. And remember, the solstice energy has been with us. And they just said the word climaxes. Okay, they just said reaches its peak tomorrow, which obviously we are aware of that since in the northern hemisphere we have the longest day, and in the southern hemisphere we have the shortest day. So going into our summer up here and going into winter down there. So officially, actually. So again, thanks for joining me today. I'm Carolyn Zaiser. I'm a channel, I'm a distance energy healer, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor. And I offer these channel messages so that you can get more information to help you along your awakening and your ascension life journey. So hopefully you'll find something helpful today, because we are in some really powerful energetic times, honestly, like none other before is what I just heard. None other before. And they keep repeating that. So just to back up real quickly, we went into the eclipse season in middle of May. That's really where, we've been talking about this for some time, these energies and what 2022 is going to be like. Powerfully shifting and changing into what we were meant to be, what we were meant to become, what we chose to become when we came in here as a soul, rather than, again, as I've said before, the story we created for ourselves as we came in through institutional belief systems, constructs, upbringing, all of that. So this is about stripping away anything that is part of the false self and moving into the true self, which you can speak to in terms of the ego versus the spirit, soul, true, higher self living in a human body and really experiencing that. So we are in times now where we were being taken even higher energetically and vibrationally, and it's been tough, okay? It's been tough for a lot of people, and right now, as I did the last week's 15-minute update, energy update after the full moon, which was really taking us to a different level. Like they said, the stair step since the eclipse, new moon, full moon, which was a super moon, and now we are into the solstice, which is the launching off. Last night when I was lying in bed, kind of contemplating if I was going to do something, I saw a visual, and it was kind of just right where I was ready to fall asleep. And the visual was on a cliff. This is the solstice, on a cliff, and there are two butterflies. And the butterflies flew off together. But one went up and the other went down. And the metaphor here is, with some other detail, the one that went up and flew are those who have been doing this work, whether you're awake or not, okay? Because believe it or not, we still do this work. We still do our work and make choices. We just don't do it consciously. And the awakening allows us to really have more tools in our tool belt, is what I will say, if we chose to go through the awakening process. More tools in our tool belt, more knowledge to really navigate through this. But really waking up, and those who are flying, in that sense of the butterfly that I show leaping off the cliff and flying, are, for the vast majority, awakened individuals who have, when something comes their way that they're faced with, to have to deal with, to emotionally process, to understand, to create the self-care around all the things we've talked about how to manage through this journey, and really working on it and spending time with yourself, loving yourself, caring for yourself. Those are the butterflies that are flying high, okay? That doesn't mean you still don't have your stuff you're dealing with, right? Because there's a lot of heavy emotion right now, is what I will say. Just know if you're feeling heavy emotion in the next couple of days, feel it, lean into it. We're all there. But my point in the metaphor from what I'm understanding of the butterfly flying, is this is going to take us to a different place. This solstice energy, it's taking us to a higher place. It doesn't mean we won't have fits and starts and feeling emotional in the next few days, or just in general as we're moving forward and still processing things. But for the most part, we can know that the bumpy, rocky road that many others are going to have, we have already been navigating through. It's almost like floating. Okay, they're showing this, like floating atop the bumps. See, it's vibrational. Okay, this is what they're showing. Because remember how we talked about having, as you do the work, as you raise in frequency and vibration, kind of floating above the yuck and the mess, right, in the collective, and when you haven't turned a blind eye to the things that you need to work on, decisions you need to make for yourself, even though they're tough, then that's kind of the floating above what's going on in the collective. Now what they're showing with the other butterfly, like going off the cliff and actually going down instead of up, and what I'm seeing is a fluttering. Okay, I just heard a frantic fluttering, and what I'm getting is, okay, I just heard the words holes in the wings, or like injured wings. Well, what this metaphor is for is they're still floating and flying, but this energy that we are in right now, it's not messing around. The Ascension energy is pulling everybody to live from their truest, highest self, okay? Not the false self that we've created over time. So that's getting broken apart. So as further away you are from your true self, the more you're going to feel that pull. As we talked about last time in the 15-minute short one last week, similar to what I'm doing today, it's a fork in the road. It's the pulled apart, being pulled apart by the energies, okay? So we're going to have to see this. We're going to have to feel this. We're going to have to reclaim ourselves. That's the butterfly with, the little bit of the holes in the wings, like having to repair itself and fluttering around and having struggles, and then lifting itself back up. But the point is this is where we are at the fork in the road, but they're giving a butterfly analogy, okay? So some of us are going to, and again, what I will say is you continually have to go back to self-care, reflection. You're going to always be doing this, all right? Don't think you're done. Because, just when you think you're done, you're not. And there's always something more in this journey. Remember, we've lived eons, and we've had so many lives, and we don't know how much we're here to clear in this lifetime. We may think we're done with, say, for example, with me. I have 3 major past lives I'm clearing in this go-around. That's primarily what's happening with me. And yet, at the same time, I don't know that that's all. I'm being faced with a lot of emotion too, a lot of clearing. Just because I do this work doesn't mean I'm not going through the same thing. We all are. And so, understanding that even if you've been doing this work for some time, don't turn a blind eye thinking you're done, okay? And just know that you need to give yourself gratitude for the work you have done, and that you're still plowing the field, okay? You're still plowing the way forward, going through the jungle with the machete. You've made it clearer, but you're going to be moving through the jungle. This is a first time for all of us, okay, as a large collective. So what will happen, again, is for those who, during this time, and again, it's not just tomorrow it's going to happen, but I have seen a lot happen over the last, I'll just say 3 days for people where they literally, and it's a very, I will say the masculine is getting hit harder. And part of that is because, well, okay, I will say in general, that's not fully true. We're all being hit in some way energetically, but the masculine is really breaking down that false self, the ego, because as we know, males in society have had a stronger ego, even if it's not just them individually, they're surrounded by that collective energy of ego, all right? So that's the false self. So moving into the true self, this has to get broken down. And I have actually seen some people where they have, it's like they've fallen off the cliff. They're the butterfly with the hole in the wings, but they are not flying. And they're having to go ground themselves and get down, actually, before they crash, go sit on the ground and figure this out and let the emotions flow and realize what they're ignoring. And I keep turning a blind eye to. So when we turn blind eyes to things that show up for us, that's where it will come back to us faster now in these energies, faster now in these solstice energies. We are being speed it up. I don't know, but anyway, we are okay. I just got asked to do our work. Keep doing our work. Like don't not feel the really strong, difficult emotions. Don't not feel the joy that you feel. Um, if something's showing up for you, you know, and you're not understanding it, don't just go through your day. Try to figure out what that is, or try to lean into it. Do your mindfulness, do your breath work, do your yoga, whatever it is. Walk out in nature. Do the thing you need to do for you to be able to. I just heard observe yourself and what you're going through, because we're being all squeezed. I will tell you that now. Squeezed with these solstice energies. They're beautiful, right? They're beautiful and wonderful, but it doesn't feel like that always. I will tell you that right now. It doesn't always feel like that. And we are being taken higher and higher and higher energetically. And again, like I said, the solstice is we've been talking about this. This is taking us into a totally different day and age. And many people have literally had a dark night within the last week or two, or even the last few days. And now they're going to go through this process, but they're going through it in this time of these massive solstice energies where they're just going to get thrown forward. Okay, so I guess what I would say to all of you, we're all at different places, but we're all still feeling the same energy, so it's going to impact us in the way it needs to for us individually. But watch for your neighbor, watch for your friends, watch for your family if they're starting to struggle and they don't understand. I have chills, by the way. I have super chills on this. If they don't understand and they're not going through awakening, it can be very scary. Okay, we have, for the vast majority of us listening today, going through the awakening process, we have an understanding that can be helpful to others. It doesn't mean you have to spout and we're going through our own stuff, so balance that out. But it doesn't mean we have to spout about spiritual awakening and things they don't understand. It's just being there for the struggle, okay? Helping them understand. If you see them going through struggle, just know this is all part of the collective energies that we are experiencing now through 2022. And we're being taken in a very different place. I have not seen anything yet for the next 6 months. I do know these energies right now and the solstice I just keep getting the word popping us, like pop. I keep hearing a pop. I keep seeing a pop. And summer is, okay, they're talking about the integration of a lot of shift and change for people. It's almost like this energy shows up and is in everybody's face. And then it's like, how do you deal with it? And again, everybody is dealing with this in one way or the other, the way their story was meant to have it happen. But we're in a fork in the road. We are much more highly energetic than we were. It's really changed a lot since the full moon. I would bet you, that would be a little over a week ago. Actually, it's a week ago. I would bet you that many of you have had some really significant either synchronicities, magical experiences, a lot of clearing this last week. I would bet you up to the solstice. It would be really interesting in the comments to see if you've noticed like something. I'll just say, okay, I'm hearing the word dramatic. And it doesn't have to be difficult. I don't mean that. But like a shift and change. A really good example for me is a massive amount over the weekend of divine intervention occurred for me where things got set up over and over and over again over a 2-day period where when we get used to getting synchronicity and seeing behind the scenes is what they just said, behind the scenes of what's really going on. You get good at knowing the signs and messages that are like super, I guess I'll just say, you know when divine intervention happens. So synchronicity happens all the time, right? And if we're aware. And yet there are these huge moments where a big block of energy comes in and Spirit says, okay, we got to intervene here because we're going to set these things up to have happen. That happens. I had this occur this last weekend in spades, and it was felt like it was improbable, and it felt very magical, and it was a next step for me, particularly before the solstice. So, needless to say, watch for that. Watch for others. Be there for yourself first and foremost, and because that is again, it's the whole idea of putting your air mask on first before you try to put somebody else's on in the airplane, I guess. So let's see what else I want to say. Oh, okay. We were talking about this. Oh God, I'm releasing so much energy right now. I'm taking deep breaths. I've had a lot of trouble breathing this last couple of days, like deep breaths, almost like collective stuff. A lot of you may be feeling collective. I do want you to know that. I'm glad this came up. You may not understand or feel like this is your own energy. You may be feeling the collective energy. Many of us are here clearing for the collective, and as we become more sensitive, we tend to have a tendency to transmute more of that energy, but there are some of us here that are actually designed to do that. You got to take care of yourself, and if you're starting to feel emotions that, and it's very hard to tell, like where those are coming from, what I would just say to you, always clear your energy, always this is again why we went through so much self-care, because it's preparing us for these times. So again, you may be clearing collective energy as well. So just know that it's they just showed okay, they're showing like a red button, like an emergency red button. They're showing this. They're funny. I'm just going to share it, like a pimple that's about to pop. It's a boil. They're showing a boil. I mean, what a metaphor. And they're showing a volcano now erupting. That's where we're at energetically. Okay, that's where we're at energetically. So it's a very sensitive time. Be kind, be caring, particularly to yourself, and then that will exude out to others, because again, we have to fill our own cup first before we can help fill others and give them a hand up. So just be aware these next, honestly, few months, but really right now, we're at a precipice, they just said. I just heard cliffhanger. Oh, how will the story end? Well, okay, this is all metaphor, remember. How will the story end? Yeah, like, where will we take ourselves? And we've set ourselves up. We've set ourselves up now. The vast majority of the first wavers have set themselves up to understand this journey, how to take care of ourselves in these times, how to manage through our emotions, how to identify the things that we're clearing. It's still sketchy. We don't always know, because we're human, and we're bringing in the divine part of us. And so at the same time, we're trying to live and understand what it is like to live in the higher versions of ourselves as a human. Okay, so we're not always going to know. This is a journey. This is a journey. And so I just want to really wish you well. This is a massively energetic, powerful time where, oh gosh, now I'm feeling tremendously emotional and I feel like I'm going to cry. Good thing I'm not on video. But I don't, like they said, you're not going to recognize yourself at the end of the year. And remember, this is energetic, this is frequency, this is where you've come from. Where you've come from, and remember, the door opened very formally in 2020. And this is one of the most powerful years we've had yet. Again, for moving into Aquarian age energies, living the life we were meant to live as individuals and a collective. Yeah, and experiencing what it's like to live from the true self and not the false self. That's the journey we're on. Okay, everybody, I hope this has been helpful today. I wish you a happy solstice. If you're looking for services to help you out on your journey, check out purplerainhealing.com, where I list all of my channeling sessions, all of my mentoring sessions where I work one-on-one with you, and of course my distance energy healing. So I so appreciate all of you, and I'm just thrilled I'm able to go on this journey with you as well. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.